Saturday, March 29th. Feels like March has been a long month, but
Yeah, it has.
here we are. Yeah, we got one more. Was it January, February? We got 2 more days. Never mind. Well, technically today's 3 days, but yeah, we have 26 days until the NFL draft starts. We're under a month, under 4 weeks away from the draft starting, which is going to be a lot of fun. We got Down with Fun already in here. We got James in here.
Horseman.
And yeah, join our rookie mock. We're gonna do 1, maybe 2. We'll see if we get enough people in, but for sure 1 mock draft. So hop in and join if you want to draft with us.
Sorry, I got yapping dogs in the background you'll hear. So
yeah, it's all right. And yeah, it's we're using landing spots. I'm going to drop that in the chat. This is from a CBS 2-round mock draft that came out Thursday, it looks like. So I'll leave the landing spots here. We'll also go over the landing spots as well. But yeah, exciting times for sure.
I guess
both Soxers here.
Yeah, awesome.
How are those Red Sox
names, doing? The loyal group there. So it's I guess this is the longest it's gone. I'm trying to frame this, say it correctly. The longest they've gone before the draft. There hasn't been any movement of teams or trades or something like that. So I guess
you mean for like picks and stuff?
Yeah, like somebody moving up or whatever. So it just I don't know, if it's been the last 10 years, the last 20 years or something like that, but it's awful quiet. It's for sure. Yeah. Vikings fan. There you go. JJ.
No worries. Down with Fun. No worries whatsoever. We'll be doing, we're going to be doing these rookie mocks through May, so I think most people do their rookie drafts in May. So, but we'll kind of continue to do them. There will be plenty of opportunity, and yeah, we'll see how many we get in here, and we'll start this up in just a few minutes. But I did want to go over, so I did some research. I'm going to actually leave all of this stuff in the Discord as well. Just some research on draft capital and why it matters for historical hit rates and things like that. So basically, I went back to 2015 and I went through each round, listed all the fantasy relevant players. I made a little bit of a I kind of broke it down into different categories. This is my own breaking down. Of course, you can put your own parameters or whatever you want, but kind of broke it down into a superstar, star, producer, bench, and bust, right? And I tried to make it pretty easy, like not easy, but like not too difficult to get into each category, just to give us a more clear picture of guys that are doing well. So literally like a superstar for a running back or wide receiver is just if you had 1 season in the top 3, I considered you a superstar, or you had 3+ seasons in the top 10. Star production is multiple seasons in the top 15 or 1 season in top 7. So it doesn't take much to kind of get into there. Producer, you see here, tight ends. I had to change it for tight ends a little bit. So, because obviously tight ends, you need the top tier guys. So 1 season in the top 2 or 3+ season in the top 5. You can see all of this here. Quarterbacks have their own parameters, and just kind of looked at historical hit rates and draft capital, real NFL draft capital, and what it translates to. And so then I looked at, I broke it into different categories. Top 10, I broke it into top 10 picks, first round picks outside of those top 10 guys, second round picks in the top 50 though. So picks 33 to 50. And then second and third round picks outside of those guys gone in the top 50. And then I did round 4 and 5 picks and round 6 and 7 picks, and kind of saw like what is the hit rate for all these positions and players and draft capital. And this is star level or above. So star or superstar level. So this only includes star or superstar guys, not producers, which, those guys have value, but we're really looking for these stars and superstars, right? So top 10 running backs hit 100. They were all became superstars. I think there was 6 of them. And again, I have like all the specific numbers. I'm going to leave all that in the chat for you guys, or in the Discord, I mean. But top 10 running backs are like the best, easiest thing to bank on. We're talking about Zeke Elliott, Bijan, even guys like Leonard Fournette, like had some seasons there that got him there. First round running backs outside the top 10 are the next best thing. Top 10 tight ends. Now there's only been 2. So there's only been 2 since 2015. So it's been Kyle Pitts and Hawkinson, I believe. So keep that in mind.
Not even Laporta?
No, Laporta was a second round pick.
Okay.
I'm talking about top 10 picks.
Okay.
Yeah, so top 10 pick tight ends are third best hit rate. Second round running backs. Running backs are obviously they have the 3 of the top 4. Best thing to gamble on is a running back, right? Whether they're top 10, first round or second round. I found this a little interesting. First round quarterbacks outside of the top 10 hit at a slightly higher rate than top 10 quarterbacks. That being said, there's not as many first round quarterbacks that weren't drafted in the top 10. I think there's only like 12 total. Maybe it's 9 actually. Whereas there's like 24 top 10 quarterbacks taken since 2015. So a little bit, you got to keep that in mind. Top 10 wide receivers are, out of all the positions, top 10 picks, wide receivers hit at the lowest rate. They hit lower than quarterbacks, tight ends. Again, there's only been 2, but so yeah, just some stuff here. I'm going to leave this in the Discord for you guys to kind of check out and look at it yourself. And thought about making a video about it. Maybe I will as we get closer to the NFL draft, but also it's just a lot of numbers, and those usually don't really do well because it's just, a lot of numbers being thrown out to you. So this is more for people in our Discord and, that you can see why. Like, it gets tough for wide receivers. It gets really tough for wide receivers drafted. Like you see here, rounds 4 to 5, wide receivers, 6% hit rate. I mean, none of these guys are that great, but and there's not many producers either. There's not many producers as well. Like, at least there's a little bit more if you add in the producer level quarterback running backs. There's a little bit more, but
that doesn't make this year very good.
No.
Or potentially.
Yeah. And then like second round quarterback. Sorry, go ahead.
Now, do you have names with all these? I mean, did you go that far? And
oh yeah. I went through everyone, and
that's pretty extensive research.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to leave all that out, in the Discord, so you guys can digest that a little bit. But yeah, second round quarterback. So those quarterbacks that we get mocked every year. There's going to be a guy that's drafted 33rd overall. There's only been 2. They haven't hit. Will Levis and I forget the other one off the top of my head. But neither of them hit. Round 6 to 7 wide receivers and tight ends don't hit. At least quarterbacks, we have a couple guys, Pacheco, Brock Purdy, guys like that. But wide receivers are kind of like the hardest to predict out of the 4 positional groups. So anyways, I'll leave all of that in the Discord and definitely talk about it more. But again, we are doing a rookie mock. If anyone's out there watching and wants to join, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots open. So go ahead and hop in. We're going to go over landing spots here, and then we're going to get started. So
how many years did you go back? Does it
2015? So it's the last 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, just for reference, like if you're, for example, let's look at wide receivers. There's been, 40 plus third round wide receivers and stuff, and most of them are busts. But you get hits like Lockett, Cooper Kupp, Godwin, Kenny Galladay, Deontay Johnson, Terry McLaurin, Nico Collins. Fourth round, you only have two guys really. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown and then like Jamison Crowder, but he's like bench level. He's not even really a hit. Fifth round, you got a couple guys because of Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill. And Puka Nacua. Yep, and Puka. And then, yeah, no 6th or 7th round guys. So usually there's only like one or two guys that are really hitting. But so this is the world we're living in. This is a CBS mock draft. I put the link in the description if you want to use it. This is the landing spot. If this is how the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft went, how does it affect the rookie draft? We have Cam Ward to the Titans, Shedeur Sanders to the Giants, Travis Hunter to the Patriots. All of that's kind of chalk a little bit. Ted McMillan to the Saints, you see quite a lot. Ashton Jeanty to the Bears is a great spot. Matthew Golden to the Cowboys. Colston Loveland to the Colts. Usually you see Tyler Warren there, but it is Colston Loveland to the Colts.
Yeah, I wonder what's changing. I've noticed that in a couple of mock drafts that he was starting to jump up.
Yeah. Marion Hampton is a Bronco, 20th overall. Jackson Dart's a Steeler. Tyler Warren is a Charger, which is great. Emeka Ibuka and Luther Burden. Seeing this a lot too. These guys falling to the beginning of the second round a little bit to the Jags and Raiders. Mason Taylor is the top 50 pick. He goes to the Jets. Trey Harris goes to the Seahawks, and Elijah Arroyo goes to the Seahawks. Seahawks make back-to-back offensive weapon picks. Not sure how I feel about that. You got a crowded room now with JSN, Cooper Kupp, Trey Harris, and Elijah Arroyo. Jaden Higgins is a Charger. Savion Williams, the TCU hybrid, Cordell Patterson-like wide receiver, goes to the Lions, 60th overall. Man, I hope he gets second-round draft capital. I think that's perfect. And, yeah, J-Mo's there, Amon-Ra's there, but, like, he's a guy who's going to get carries, so he's going to do a lot of his damage there. Travion Henderson is a Commander. Dylan Sampson's a Chief in the early third round. I love that. Jalen Milroe is a Brown. Quinshon Judkins is a Raider. Jack Besh is a Patriots. This is all third round. Jalen Royals is a Bear. By the way, second and third round hit rate for wide receivers. The guys not taken in the top 50 is 10%, just so you know. It's not much better for running backs. I mean, it's definitely better for running backs. It's 27%, so it is actually much better. Almost 3 times the amount better for running backs. Jalen Royals, a Bear. Tyler Shuck is a Jet. Caleb Johnson is a Texan. Damian Martinez is a Steeler, so got some good landing spots for some more running backs there. Terrence Ferguson is a Bronco, which is interesting. Quinn Ewers is a Ram. Harold Fannin Jr. is an Eagle. And then you have Jalen Knoll, Tej Johnson, Kyle Williams. Don't see him mocked in the top 3 rounds out of Washington State. He's a little bit of a sleeper. Not so much a sleeper anymore because he's getting some hype around him, but he's an interesting player, Kyle Williams from Washington State. So nice to see him go in the third round there. So once again, we are doing a rookie mock draft. This is going to be a 12-team super flex. 12-team super flex. We'll go PPR 1.25 tight end premium, which is our setting for one of our listener leagues. We'll give it about just a couple more minutes. Don't want to keep everyone waiting that's in here already. So don't want to do that. So we got 5 spots open. If anyone wants to join, I'm going to leave the link here in the description. We're going to start in just a couple of minutes. So if you want to join, hop in now. Please. We'd love to fill it up if we can. If not, no worries. I'm leading Loveland. Paul says he's leaning Loveland, but if Chargers get Warren instead, that's a massive hit. Yeah, I mean, it is. It is a massive hit. You know, I know people don't like the Colts landing spot for anything offensively, really, but I still think even though Warren goes 9-10 picks later, I think he gets drafted kind of before him.
Funny that we think about that with the Colts because they have some very good offensive weapons. I mean, they got wide receivers that are not, you know, they don't necessarily suck, but you know they're not terrible. You know, they got a one of the top running backs in the NFL.
Yeah.
I know one of their offensive linemen is considered one of the best, and it's just that quarterback situation that leads to some uncertainty.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But remember, we always say it. We hated the Brock Bowers landing spot last year, and he was tight end 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Um, so I can see it's happening. But anyways, we're gonna get this started. And of course, I'll make the picks for some of the for the computers here. It's still Ashton Genty holding strong at the 101. Nothing changing there, especially if he goes to the Bears. It's a smash pick. We just went over that. Top 10 running backs, a hit at 100% hit rate, at superstar hit rate, by the way. The top 10, there's only been 6, but it's Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, and Bijan Robinson. I mean, Fournette is easily the worst one there, and even he had a couple of seasons, multiple seasons of production, two or three, of like top 10 production. So you just can't deny it. Like you can't deny
Super Bowl ring also.
Yep. And then I'm going to go Amarion Hampton. I think if he gets first round draft capital, he's the 102 for me. For me, he's the 102.
Travion.
And again, there's literally here's the first round running backs that outside of the top 10. Melvin Gordon is a hit. Rashad Penny, bust. Sony Michel, bust. Well, bench level, but Josh Jacobs is a hit. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, bust. Najee is a hit. Travis Etienne is a hit. And Jahmyr Gibbs is a hit. So there's a pretty good hit rate for running backs there. We see Travion go. He goes to the Commanders. I love the Commanders as a running back landing spot for the first 2 rounds. Really, really like that. So once again, this is a 1.25 tight end premium super flex PPR league. Paul says 1 tight end to the Jets and the other to the Chargers would do wonders. Yeah, absolutely. You see Cam Ward fall to the 104, which and Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe going to the Browns in the 3rd round. Now, we are living in a world here where the Browns don't really have a quarterback. So obviously, I don't know if Milroe gets drafted there if, let's say, the Browns get like Kirk Cousins or something. But right now, it's like who they have, Kenny Pickett, and that's it. So Sean Watson, I guess. But yeah, shocking to see Milroe go there at the 105. I'm going to go ahead and take Tyler Warren here for Team 7. The 1.25 tight end premium is tough to ignore. We'll go Matthew Golden at the 112 and Colston Loveland at the 114. So you are up there on the at the 110. At the 110. And again, I keep talking about this draft and how I really want to trade back if I have the 103 to the 105. Really want to trade back to this range and pick up extra assets if I can. I just think it's gonna. There's just so many ways like that this draft could go. I mean, you could make an argument for Tet at the 103. You can make an argument for Cam Ward at the 103. You can make an argument for Tyler Warren in a 1.25 tight end premium at the 103. Travion Henderson, you can make an argument for him. Like he just went at the 103. So I just think I really do think trading back is the way to go here. I'm going to go Dylan Sampson. I am a huge Dylan Sampson fan. He goes 66th overall to the Chiefs. I have Dylan Sampson in that RB 4-5 range. So that's who I'm going to go with here. And I'm going to pause it at the end of the as Benjamin makes his pick here. We're going to pause it and talk about this first round real quick just for a few minutes and start thinking about what's your favorite pick, guys. What's your favorite pick in terms of value and where they fell? Do you have a favorite pick or not here? So do you have a favorite pick, Dad, besides your own that you took? Shador Sanders at the 110 is pretty nice.
Yeah, I like I like Cam Ward at 4. I hope that
Mhm.
happens real life because I have a team, a dynasty team, needing a quarterback at 4. So, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Travion, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of interesting at the 3rd. I think good running back, man, and you know Judkins is kind of like the big boy,
Hmm.
that group. Henderson, he played a number of years there at Ohio State, so caught a lot of passes.
Yeah.
So he's already NFL all ready for the NFL, I'd say.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll pause it here before we move on. In the chat, let me know what your favorite pick is here. Yeah, I think the Jalen Milroe at the 105 is the most shocking. Like I haven't seen him go that high. But again, if you're playing in this world where he's going to the Browns, um, it's tough to ignore that they don't have anyone right now. That being said, he is a 3rd-round pick, and we talked about it. Round 2 to 3, round 2 to 3 for quarterbacks not drafted in the top 50 hit at a 13% hit rate. So it's not terrible, but it's not likely that they're going to hit. And by the way, round 3 quarterbacks, I think most of those were round 2 guys. Round 3, there's really only been one guy. It's Jacoby Brissett, and he's like bench level. It's not even a hit, right? So you have Jalen Hurts, and that's kind of it. He's like the only guy to really hit. So, but kind of interesting there. Kind of interesting. It's a good draft. Keep talking about it. I really want early 2nd-round picks because I still think there's a lot of good players on the board here. I mean, Jackson Dart, who goes 1st round to the Steelers, he's sitting there. You're getting him at the 112. Guys like Quinshawn Judkins, who I'm going to take here. Am I going to take him? Yeah, I'm going to take Quinshawn Judkins here, going to the Raiders. Like, that's a great spot. It's a really good spot. Still have guys like Travis Hunter, who I'm going to take here. If he goes to the Patriots, how do you make the argument he's not going to play wide receiver? Right? How do you make that?
Yeah, I don't.
Like, how do you argue against that?
That's,
How do sorts like maybe? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think the Patriots could and probably would do that. They got their old offensive coordinator Josh McDaniel back there, Mike Vrabel. He's there to make he's a good coach. So
yeah, absolutely.
I think the signing of Diggs to there, I think that's a big one. It's gonna help their offense. If they get some other receivers or the other guys start contributing and Diggs would be the focal point, I think that would probably help.
Yeah, but I mean, Diggs is kind of a year-to-year replacement here, but so it's Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter there is interesting, and again, if he plays full-time wide receiver, I can make an argument for him at the 102. That's how good the guy is. Like, I can legitimately make an argument for him at the 102. And so that's what I'm willing to take the gamble, even if I don't know where he's going to play with an early 2nd-round pick, knowing that I could get just a smash play. Cass says sniped in a mock. Quinshawn in the 2nd is crazy. And I wanted to get back to this out of rhythm. Would you still take Milroe there if let's say they drafted, they signed like a Kirk Cousins or even Aaron Rodgers there? Would you be out? Are you kind of taking him this high because of the Browns' current situation?
I know what I'd do.
What?
Well, yeah, I would still draft him because I'm
talking about the 105.
Yeah.
You would draft Jalen Milroe
no,
at
I
the
would.
105.
I would still consider drafting Jalen Milroe.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm talking about at the 105.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe late 1st round, early 2nd.
Yeah.
But
he's like he generally goes in this range, even and he's generally a third round pick in these mock drafts, so but yeah, sniped in a mock Quinshon the second. And it's interesting that you say that because every time I do a mock draft video, it's like, man, I know someone's going to be like, how is this guy falling to the 201, 203? But like, what argument can you make? Like any of these guys that fall, Shador Sanders, if he falls there, I got the number 3 overall pick. Dylan Sampson, who I'm a big fan of, who went to the Chiefs he went higher than Quinshon Judkins by a couple picks. Jackson Dart was a first round pick. Like, if Colston Loveland falls in a tight end premium league. So it's just like any guy that falls there, I think it's going to be like, damn, how did he fall? Which is exactly why I want early second round picks, right? I want early second round picks. Out of Rhythm Sports, let me know who you want here. I think you could still make your pick, but you timed out there. Appreciate you, Marvin. Appreciate you. He says he's trying to trade the 207 Yoshivas in a 14-man for the 303, a 26 second, and 30 in Fab. Thoughts? Yeah, I think that's fine. I think it's fine. I mean, Yoshivas is not worth. I mean, maybe he's worth something here. It's tough.
If T. Higgins would have left, it would have made Yoshivas a little more inviting, I guess.
Yeah. He says, give me Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson going here is kind of crazy. Why can't I make this pick? Caleb Johnson going here is a little crazy. But again, it's hard to argue. I don't hate it. So the 207 in a 14 team is the 209. Keep in mind there. And so you're kind of banking on, there's a decent chance the 26 second is higher than the 209. Now, is the 26 class as good? I'm not sure, right? We're not 100% sure there, but Yoshivas for, yeah, I don't mind that trade. I don't mind it. I don't mind the trade because you're trading back several spots. You're getting a 26 second Yoshivas. Let's see who goes at the 209, and I guess we can make that determination here. I'm going to go ahead and take. Yeah, Caleb Johnson going that late is kind of crazy, but again, it's hard to argue any of them. Let's go Mason Taylor. He's getting top 50 draft capital going to the Jets. We'll go Mason Taylor for that team.
That would be a good fit for him.
Yeah, I do as well. Jaden Higgins to the Chargers, I think, is interesting. They didn't really bring in. I know they drafted Warren in this draft, but they didn't really bring in.
That's the big Iowa State guy, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah. And then one of my favorite picks is just Savion Williams. I love the guy. I hope he gets second round draft capital. That would be amazing. I'll go ahead and take him there. So Out of Rhythm Sports says he wouldn't take him there because he wouldn't have a chance to play. The only reason I took him, if you're in a half-point league, is the upside you're going to get in the red zone. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. You can make the argument that he's going to be the starter. Julian says it's the May guy again. What would you do? What would you add onto the 101/112 for May? Would you add onto the 101, the 112 for May, 12 team, low activity? So you're saying give up the 101 and 112 for May. I'd be okay with it. I'm fine with it. I'm a huge Drake May fan. I just think he's going to be so good. I think he's going to be really damn good. I think they have the right coach in there. He runs the ball at like Josh level, maybe Josh Allen level. Maybe not the touchdown, quite the touchdown level for Josh Allen that he's going to do, but like in terms of the rushing yards. So yeah, I'm kind of all in on Drake May, and I'm fine with adding the 112. I'd trade Genty and Jackson Dart, for example. So at the 209, Savion Williams goes if we go back to this trade. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I think you're getting some value for Yoshivas, which I think is going to be hard to do. So let me make a pick here. I guess I'll go Trey Harris. I'm not the biggest Trey Harris fan, but to get him late second, he goes top 50 to the Seahawks, which isn't great. But as we see Ollie Gordon go off the board, Ollie Gordon did not get drafted. So let me know your favorite picks in the second round. A lot of good value in that first half of that second round. Do you have a favorite pick there, Dad? You want to start thinking about that as we get to some of these other questions? I asked because Drake May owner wants another asset on top of the 101, 112. I mean, I'd be fine. I don't want to give up anything significant. Like, I'll go a couple years out, second, 2022, 2027 second, sorry. I'll throw in like a low end starter, like, maybe a bench guy. I don't want to throw too much more. Like, I don't want to throw a mid second round pick in this year's draft. I don't really want to give him a random 26 second if I don't think my team's going to compete. But if I do think I could have a chance to make the playoffs, I'm fine with throwing in a 26 second. So, yeah, some kind of low-end starter here. But, yeah, let me know what's your guys' favorite pick in the second round. Dad, do you have a favorite pick here in the second round besides your own?
Yeah, no, I like Mason Taylor there right in the middle, kind of like that. And Higgins right there also in the middle at 8.
Yep.
Was 2 decent picks.
Must have been a smart guy who picked them.
Yeah, whatever.
No, those are definitely solid picks for sure.
Travis Hunter, another one. Holy shit, you picked that one too. So I'm gonna stop.
I mean, man, like Caleb Johnson at the 205, and he lands on the Texans third round pick. We talked about it. The hit rate for second to third round pick running backs is still good. It's just 27%. A second or third round running back, not including guys drafted in the top 50. So these are guys drafted from 51 to whatever the end of the third round is with comp picks. Hit at a 27% hit rate. That's better than top 50 tight ends. So second round tight ends drafted in the top 50. That's better than top 50 wide receivers. That's better than second or third round tight ends, second or third round quarterbacks, wide receivers. It's one of the best bets you can make outside of the first round guys. Is second to third round running backs. So the hit rate there is awesome. But let's keep going here. I am going to take Cam Scadaboo just because I saw someone talk about him as well. I kind of agree with you, Paul. I'm a big Scadaboo fan. I would be shocked if he fell outside the top 3 rounds if he was not a day 2 pick, because the guy just does everything well in terms of what. It's hard to find guys that can catch passes, pass block, break tackles, right? Someone's going to fall in love with him and they're going to take him. So I agree. And I think Scadaboo could be in the argument for like a mid-second round pick. It's just a little bit harder when we're using a real mock draft. We don't know exactly where he went and when he went. But I agree with you 100% there. I'll go Elijah Arroyo. He goes to the Seahawks tight end premium league, 52nd overall. So don't mind that. Yeah, Julia, no worries. Yeah, I'm a big May fan. I'm fine with overpaying for him because I think a year from now, that's not whatever you send. If you send the 101, the 112, and a future second, it's not going to be considered an overpay. Like he's going to approach like I kind of need like 3 first-round picks for him. So you're giving up obviously Genty, which is tough, but the 112, which is the odds of the 112 hitting, they're kind of low. As much as we love these players, it is still kind of low, right? We're not going to get 15 fantasy players from this draft, most likely, or even 12 guys, right? So I'm fine with giving a slight overpay for him. The only hesitation I have is if like you're a complete rebuilding team, and you don't think you're going to compete till 2027. I'm a little bit hesitant giving up future draft capital. But if it's a second round pick, I don't hate it. As we see Jack Besh off the board, who goes to the Patriots, 69th overall. Love it. Terrence Ferguson off the board, going to the Broncos in the 3rd round. Arande Gadsden, the 2nd, going. He didn't get drafted here. Jalen Royals off the board. Man, I love Jalen Royals. He's a top 5 wide receiver for me. but he always gets crappy landing spots. Here he goes to the Bears in the 3rd round. So 3rd round wide receivers, lower hit rate. He goes to the Bears, and it's like, I think they could be good, but it's such a crowded room that with DJ Moore, Odunze, Cole Kmet, Swift, just tough. Let's go and make some picks here. My guy DJ Giddens, I mean, he never seems to get drafted in the first 3 rounds either. I think he could. I'm a big DJ Giddens fan. I hope he gets day 2 draft capital. I'm also a big Jalen Noel fan. He goes to the Vikings, which isn't great, but we'll go ahead and take a shot on him here. And we'll go Harold Fannin Jr., tight end premium. Why not? Heavy rebuild. So if anything, I'm happy to move off Gen T. Yeah, I get that. I'd be a little bit hesitant giving up a future like 2026 second. If it can be a 2027 second, I'd much rather prefer that. Just because if you're in a heavy rebuild, that could be the 201, which we don't know what that's going to be next year, but it seems like every year drafts get hyped up a little bit. So Bill says rebuild, I may keep the 101, which is fair. I do think the better asset is Drake May. Again, like, to me, I would take Drake May over Ashton Genty straight up. And where I think Drake May is going to be next year or even middle of this season, I think he's going to be in that top 5 to 6 quarterback range where it's like those guys are so hard to acquire. Like, how do you get Lamar Jackson? You have to give up like 3 first-round picks. I think May enters that type of level just because of like his rushing ability. Let's go. Did Bayshall to Ingo? He did not. Let's go ahead and take him. He didn't go in this draft, but we'll go ahead and grab him here. Don't really love a lot of the guys here. As we got the 312. But keep the questions coming, guys. Keep the thoughts coming. They appreciate everyone watching. Make sure to hit the like button on this video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We are 16 subscribers away from 1,200, so it will be nice to get there in the next week or so if we can. And make sure to join our Discord. I'm going to leave the link here. You'll be able to know whenever we go live. We post it in there. We do listener leagues. If you want to get into a listener league, we're trying to get a 3rd one together. I think we got over half of it filled. We're trying to fill it up with people that aren't in the first couple of leagues, but we will open up to other people in the first couple of leagues. Hop in there, say you want to join a listener league, and we'll get you in there. Tomorrow we're going to go live Sunday evening. We're going to probably do another Dynasty startup mock. We're going to check in. We got a slow draft starting tomorrow for our first listener league. That starts tomorrow at 11 Eastern time. And so that'll be fun. We'll kind of recap that and what happens there. We'll go Kyle Williams. Why not? And then a week from tomorrow, so the 6th, I believe that is, we're doing a live real money listener league startup draft, first 12 rounds. Maybe we'll go 15, but first 12 rounds tomorrow. At least for next week. So join us live for that. That's going to be a lot of fun to do it live. And Julian says, yeah, he's drafting in the Zeus League tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully we get, I'm hoping by the time we go live tomorrow, which is going to be around 7 Eastern time, PM, we got at least a couple rounds to talk about. We'll see what happens. Slow drafts you never know how they're going to go. So I know you, Dad, you're going to take all 8 hours to make the 102, right?
Negative. Expect to be drafting at 8:01 in the number 2 spot.
8:01 Pacific. So that means you expect the 101 to be picked at 8 o'clock then.
Yeah, it should already be figured out.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
stuff happens.
Yeah.
I'm not Yeah, I'm not very patient at these long drafts, so I'm like,
Yeah, at the same time, what I always tell people is like, what are we rushing for? Like, we don't have much to do
yeah, I
during
don't know.
this time. So
I
it's like,
I
at least it fills our day a little bit and it makes our, for fantasy wise, like it fills
yeah, but
us.
we just sitting there constantly watching,
Yeah, but then it ends and what are we waiting for?
Yeah,
Like
I
it's
get
over.
it. I know I'm the impatient. It's my problem, so not blaming it
Yeah.
on
No, I
anybody
get
or
it too.
anything.
I get it as well. That's why I tried to do live for the first 12 rounds or so. But it's hard to get. Everyone's different schedules, different time zones. It's hard to
Everybody's
get.
got lives.
Yeah. You see Pat Bryan, Isaiah Bond. I'm gonna highlight a couple guys. I made a sleeper video here. Jaden Blue out of Texas. I'm very very intrigued by. Because I think what I like about, I'm going to pause it real quick. What I like about some of these guys in the later rounds taking shots on are guys that I think are going to have a role on a team. And then from there, we'll see. If they're good, they're going to get an expanded role. If not, well, at least they have that role versus other guys like, I don't know, some other guys, if we look at, Kyle Monangai or, Khalil Mullings out of Michigan, like they're probably just going to be like that change, that spell back, that's RB2 kind of guy at best. Whereas a guy like Jaden Blue, I think he's going to come in, he's going to give some pass catching work to whatever team he goes to. And then just what if he's just better? And I kind of think of Bucky Irving in that sense of like, I think Bucky Irving was drafted, he had a role for the team, and then they realized, oh, we actually need to give this guy more touches. And so I like drafting guys like that. Jaden Blue is one of them. Marcus Yarns out of Delaware is another one. He's probably one of the best pass catching running backs in this draft class, to be honest. So he's another one there that I really like. And then there's someone here, and Out of Rhythm Sports, he can chime in. He probably knows a little bit more about him. But Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt out of Arizona, he had a weird situation where he played at Alabama State from 2019 to 2022, which is FCS school. Went to New Mexico in 2024, University of New Mexico. Had a really good year for New Mexico. Goes to Arizona, commits to Arizona for 2024. And then also but then commits to Ole Miss, I think it was, and then comes back to Arizona, plays one game, rushes for 115 yards on 10 carries. It was against a bad team, and then has some eligibility issues with his time at Alabama State and misses the rest of the season. He basically gets he's not allowed to play the rest of the year. And he has intriguing qualities about him. He has good size. He ran a 4.45 at his pro day. He had some other good measurables. He was the East-West Shrine Bowl offensive MVP, so the all-star game, so to speak, for college football. So just some interesting stuff about him. Keep an eye on him and where he goes, because I think he could be a legitimate sleeper in this draft class, where it's because he didn't play last year,
Who was that again?
That's Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. I took him at the
Okay.
409, technically out of Arizona, but I'm excited about him. And do I expect him to go day 2? No, but what if he goes round 4 or something? I'm intrigued by it. So, and then we see Taj Brooks, Torrey Horton is another guy I had on my sleeper list. I'm a big Torrey Horton fan. Yeah, you're going to draft him at the last round for sure. Yeah, he's definitely a good dart throw. But check out that video that we made there. And there we go. There we go. This is the rookie draft. And, I mean, even guys you're getting guys like Tej Johnson and Kyle Williams in round 4. They were third-round picks, right? It's because these running backs are so good, and it's much easier to take a running back, even if they're drafted round 4, round 5. You're going to get wide receivers with your 4th-round pick that are going to be taken in the 3rd round of the NFL draft. You're going to get them. You're going to get them. So, the upside with Merritt, he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on his body. Yeah, he doesn't do much in the passing game. Like I think he had 7 catches his 2023 season with New Mexico, but that could just be the offense. That could be a lot of other things. The guy I always remember is Melvin Gordon, right? And he played at Wisconsin. It was like, oh, he can't catch the ball, right? I'm going to go back and look at Melvin Gordon. He caught 22 passes in his 4 years at Wisconsin. He had 0, 2, 1, and 19. He was a good pass catching guy. Like he could catch the ball in the NFL. I know Phillip Rivers kind of dumped off to running backs a lot, but Melvin Gordon had 58, 50, 42, 41. That's 4 straight years of 40 plus, 2 in a row of 50 plus. So Kenneth Walker was another one, right? What was the story about Kenneth Walker? Oh, he doesn't catch the ball. He had 19 catches in his 3 years in college. So I don't know. He just was on pace for 70 plus catches last year. Any thoughts about this draft overall? How are you feeling about it? I think it's good. I think it's deep. I mean, the not this specific one, but just the draft class in general.
Yeah, your numbers about wide receivers kind of makes you rethink what to do here and stuff like that. It's definitely should be a heavy running back, tight end, sprinkled in, some quarterbacks and stuff like that. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, was it hurt? Was it that he got hurt or eligibility issues? I thought it was eligibility issues with him, which is why he didn't play the rest of 2024. Yeah. He is older, by the way. He's like 24 already. So that's going to knock him down a little bit. Caleb says he has the 305 and the 309 in a rookie draft. Who would you advise targeting? 12-team Superflex tight end premium. I mean, it's probably going to be running backs, depending on who's there. That's going to be your best bet because by the time you get to the third round, and I'll share with you maybe if you weren't here in the beginning, Caleb, which I don't think you were, at the beginning of the show. I'm going to leave this in the Discord, by the way. This is hit rates by Draft Capital. Let me take this off. Hit rates by Draft Capital. And, like top 10 running backs. And this is star or superstar level. I give you kind of my parameters of what it takes to be considered a star or superstar. It's not very, exclusive to get in there. It's what you would expect from guys drafted in the second round or in the first round and stuff. But you look at the second to third round running backs. So these are running backs taken in basically with picks 51 to the end of the third round. So not top 50 picks, not picks 33 to 50. They have their own category, which is up here, which is, by the way, one of the best hit rates. Second round running backs who have top 50 draft capital hit at a 45% rate. But these guys, this is probably where you're going to start in the middle of the third round. You're probably going to start getting into guys that were drafted outside the top 50 of the NFL draft. Running backs hit at a 27% hit rate. When you look at the other positions, quarterbacks, 13%. By the way, that's just one guy, Jalen Hurts. Wide receivers, 10%. Tight ends, 15%. So the running backs are absolutely your best bet when you're talking about these guys in the 51 to end of the third. So I'd be targeting running backs. Now, if the running backs get taken, because everyone's talking about them, they get taken pretty heavily in the first 2 rounds and the beginning of the third. And, I would probably transition to wide receivers a little bit. Wide receivers or tight ends. You said a tight end premium league. So specific guys, it's hard to say. But in this draft that we just did, DJ Giddens fell to the middle of the third round, which I love. Jalen Royals fell to the middle of the third round. I love that. Guys like Terrence Ferguson, Harold Fannin are falling there. So, those are some names that potentially could be there. But we're not going to know for sure until the NFL draft happens in 26 days. So, yeah, I thought he got injured at first as well. And then I was looking into it, and it was, eligibility stuff. So, because he had they said it went back to his Alabama State thing, but he had he committed to Arizona after New Mexico, then committed to I think it was Ole Miss, and then came back to Arizona. So I don't know if that kind of messed with him. But by the way, all of this, I will be leaving all this stuff in the Discord, as well as specific names and stuff, not just numbers, but specific totals and names. All my research, I'm just going to leave it in there. Here's an example of the receivers. I went just kind of listed them out on the Excel sheet here. You're going to see a lot of red. All receivers that were drafted since 2015 are on here. And I went through and kind of checked, did they hit, did they not? Obviously, it was pretty easy. If I didn't recognize you, it probably means you didn't hit, but so you'll get to see the specific names, the totals, we say 13% or 5%. Well, how many is that actually? Well, for round 4, it's one guy. It's Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra is really the only guy. Now, you do have a couple guys here who, Matt Collins, Demarcus Robinson, but, no one would consider those guys as any type of productive players for fantasy. And I also do give you numbers up and through 2024, but also numbers up until 2022, because usually you need at least 3 years to consider guys busts. So, it's tough to say count Jalen McMillan or Roman Wilson as a bust right now. We need to see. Yeah, Russ was a 3rd round pick, but this went to 2015, Chip. I cut it off at 2015. Kirk Cousins is another one, right? He was a 3rd round pick as well. 3rd or 4th, I forget. Might have been a 4th round pick. But yeah, I cut this off at 2015. Just because I got to cut it off somewhere. It's the last 10 years. But yeah, you could definitely there's definitely guys you can find. It's just the likelihood, that they hit is pretty low for sure. Yeah. Anything, Dad, you want to add or say, or it was overturned later? You're muted, by the way. Nope, can't hear you. You're muted. You are muted.
Sorry, I had dogs barking, so I muted it. Or nothing of substance. Just we start our slow draft tomorrow, so that's what I'm kind of thinking of, and be interesting here in the next few weeks to see any movement in real draft positions and things like that. I guess in NFL news, they're having the owners meetings, and something always comes out of it. I guess they're going to talk about the 18-game schedule and any rule changes and stuff like that. So
yeah,
stuff to keep us interested. I think
the tush push is a big one for fantasy, though.
Yeah, so, I don't think it's going to stick around, I guess.
Yeah. Bub Means was there. He was the last 5th round pick there. He probably just cut off where you couldn't see him, but yeah, he was there. I didn't count him as a bust or anything yet, just because it's only been 1 year. But it'll be interesting to see. So yeah, this is our slow draft that starts tomorrow. You see, we have 2 or 4 people basically switch draft spots. We had the 101 and the 109 just completely trade all their picks. So the guy who had the 101 wanted to pick at the 109, and the guy who picked at the 109 was okay with taking the 101. And same thing happened with the 108 and 111. So it's a slow draft, so I do expect more picks to happen on the clock. It's going to be a little bit easier. That's the benefit of a slow draft, is you can make on the clock picks and knowing who you're trading for, rather than trading in advance and not knowing who's going to be there technically. Daddy got the 102 pick. I know who you said who you're hoping for. I'm not going to say it just in case Robert's listening. You'll your friend now. He jumped in front of you. Rip Lips. He's now at the 101. But
Yeah.
this is a half PPR half PPR 0.1 point per carry for running backs. So running backs are they are more valuable in this league. So running backs are more valuable in this league. So you got to keep that in mind. Half PPR leans towards running backs, but then you add the 0.1 per carry. So it is a 1.25 tight end premium as well.
Holy crap. I get to make a early pick, and I got to wait about a week for the next one.
Hopefully not.
No.
Hopefully not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
You ever get into IDP at all? I haven't done IDP. I did it like a long time ago, but my only concern with IDP is like I don't want it to turn into like another kicker spot where it's like you got to make it to where because there's enough defensive players. If you just have like one per defensive back, linebacker, D line or whatever, like I feel like it doesn't. It just they kind of turn into like kickers where they don't really matter too much. So if I'm gonna do one, I want to make it like a legit IDP where you have like it'd be super deep where you have like 10 IDPs or something like that. I might expand a startup if you're interested. Only 4 positions. Yeah. Let me know the scoring and stuff. So I'd be interested in dabbling in it for sure. But I think we are going to end up there. It's been about an hour. Good stream as always. Rookie drafts, continue to do it. Startup draft tomorrow, recapping our slow draft. More rookie content coming out, and yeah, just appreciate everyone. So any last words? Go Blue. I can't say that anymore.
Yeah, I was just actually reading about them with 12 minutes left in the game. They were up by 9 last night, so
yeah, that's tough.
They lost, but
that is tough.
Yeah. Day of mourning.
Yeah. But anyways, we will see everyone tomorrow evening. Appreciate you all and see you then. Enjoy your weekend.